Hello everyone. Welcome. I hope everyone is doing great today. So today we're actually going to have three different topics that we are talking about. So we're going to talk about the YouTube censorship slash like the demonetization that's going on, some cancel culture, and dividing and conquering. So those are pretty much going to be the three topics for today, and we're just going to get right into it. So, as everyone knows, how you guys are watching me, on YouTube. YouTube is the biggest platform, for video streaming and all that kind of stuff. As everyone knows, or you should anyways, YouTube is owned by Google Alphabet company, so that's how everything is working. You look at Google and you're like, okay, well, Google is the biggest search engine. If you think about anything else, it's like, what else is there? Bing, many people don't use that. A lot of people do, but not as much as Google. And Google, because of its power, everything that Google has, it has YouTube dominating everything. So YouTube is just allowing themselves to pretty much be like, okay, I'm gonna go write this rule. You don't like it? Oh, well, and the thing about that I get why you have certain rules in place. A lot of it is less for the creator and more for the advertisers. So it's like, if you think about it, you have YouTube who they play ads on everyone's videos, right? So whether you're monetized or not, they play ads. So they even added in a new rule. Well, I guess new-ish. I think it was added like 2 months ago, I want to say. And it was pretty much saying that like people who are not monetized, like my channel, for example, people who are not monetized because they haven't reached the YouTube requirements of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Because you haven't reached that mark, they're like, okay, well, we're going to still put ads on your videos, but we're going to take all the ad revenue from that. So we're not going to allow you to have the ad revenue, even though it's your video, but because you're not monetized, which that's just ridiculous. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. There's not really much you can do about it besides, what was already said, But yeah, they start making these crazy guidelines and, people are like, I don't like it. But what's the alternative for it? People are like, well, I can't really do anything. I can't really go anywhere else. So I have to deal with it. So long story short, YouTube has these crazy guidelines that they've added. And, they're like, of course, like no child harm or anything like that, which is very understandable. But it kind of crosses a different line, if it makes sense, because it's like you're saying no child harm. So they consider videos like if you're reacting to like these kid challenges, like remember when people were doing the what was it called, like Chubby Bunny or something like that, where like, and I never understood it, where people were putting like what was it? People were putting like marshmallows in their mouths. People had the cinnamon challenges. People were eating Tide Pods, which is a detergent. So whatever. Don't understand that. And, taking, a lot of different challenges. Let's just say that challenges. And, a lot of it was the youth doing it. So you had people in middle school, maybe some in elementary, but most like in middle school and high school doing this kind of stuff. And, they would either some would die or some would be close to it, some, escape with their life, whatever. But they have these little things saying that you can't do that. But these videos are available on their platform. So if you react to it, then they're like, it's not like, oh, copyright strike. It's, oh, because you violated our terms of, no child abuse or whatever the case may be. And that's why you're getting, getting the strike against you. But I'm like, something that I really don't understand is like, but this is on your platform. So it's not like I just got this video from, wherever, and I just like pulled it up and was like, here, I'm gonna go and react to it. I'm reacting to what it is that you guys have shown me. I'm reacting to what it is that you guys have put out here for me to see. So I just feel like this: if you don't want people to react to what it is or have any part of what is now restricted in your guidelines, I just feel like maybe you shouldn't be putting it up there to begin with, in all honesty. And also something else that I noticed, it's like a lot of nitpicking that goes on, because you have, I get it, you can't get everyone, but at the same time, I'm seeing that, you know, some people who made their living off of like reaction videos and pranks and this and that and that and the third, which is cool. No hating at all. I get it. You know, you're making your money. You're doing something that is enjoyable to you. At least I will hope so. And cool, you know. But if you look at the guidelines, like pranking and stuff like that is not something that they promote. It's something that's actually frowned upon. It goes against their guidelines. So it's just interesting that you're just like, oh, well, you know, we'll allow these people to slide, but we're not going to allow these people over here to slide. It's very interesting how they nitpick, you know, finger point and all that. But yeah, I mean, like with this whole demonetization thing, what they don't really understand, well, they understand it, you know, but they don't care. From what I'm seeing, because it's like you have a lot of people who are getting demonetized, and you tell people YouTube is a place where you could be in charge of your own life. If you want to make videos about microphones and unboxing technology, then you can do so. If you want to do videos about clothing hauls, then you can do so. If you want to talk about aliens all day, then you can do so. You know, and you can make a living off of it. Hey, quit your job, because you can make a living off of doing what it is that you love, you know? So it's like, okay, well, we have that, but then you turn around and say, oh, but, you know, we're changing rules. So now you can't talk about everything that it is that you want to talk about, or rather do whatever it is that you want to do. So now we're your employer. So now we get to control what happens, and then we'll just essentially like fire you or suspend you. And I mean, this is messing with people's lives. I've watched quite a few videos, and a lot of people are so upset because it's like, you're now saying that my material, my content that I put out is now invaluable because now it's not being monetized. And I mean, you told people, hey, quit your job, because this right here, this platform here is there for you. It's YouTube. It's there for you. It's there for you to create something, you know, for you to form something so you could get the millions and whatever. So you don't have to be struggling making 20 grand a year or something like that. You know, so I find that to be very interesting that they're like, hey, it's free reign. You can do whatever you want. But hey, you guys can't do everything. I don't know. I just find that to be very interesting. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, okay, so what could you have? What is it that you could do that could possibly make it so that the creators have more of the control, you know? Because like I said before, YouTube is making all these guidelines for their advertisers, not for you. It's not because we want the average Joe who's watching, who's regularly or, you know, on occasion watching YouTube to, you know, feel comfortable. It's not because of that. It's because they're advertisers. Because, and I don't even understand how most of this even, you know, makes any sense with it. But let's say, like for my business, let's say Latrice Limited Socks. I don't want anyone who uses profanity. I don't want anyone who does this. I don't want anyone who makes people laugh too much. I don't want anyone that does this. I don't want anyone that does this. So Latrice Limited Socks. Pick it, you know, pick whatever channels, but put my thing on there. I don't want anyone that does XYZ LMNOP, you know? So then they're like, okay, well, these advertisers don't want that. So now we're going to make it harder for our creators, and we're going to make more guidelines, stricter guidelines and stuff like that. That's the whole reason why they're doing it. It's not because they're they have such a conscience and they're like, I just don't want anyone to be exposed to this. No, it's all because they're advertisers. That's how they make a lot of their money, let's be real. But I was thinking about it and I'm like, okay, well, you have this, and what can be done? Because people are fed up, people are tired, people are so tired, they're fed up, and it's like, what can we do? What can actually be done, right? And I thought about it. I was like, well, the thing about it is YouTube, like I said, dominates everything. You look up any video, YouTube usually pops up. So I'm like, well, and everyone's on there too. Like today, I was just looking, and like it was celebrities I didn't even know were on there. They're on there. You have a lot of celebrities. You have all the mainstream media. Yeah, and like anyone you can think of is more than likely on YouTube because they see how much of traffic it gets. But the thing that's lacking is competition. That's really the thing that is lacking is competition. There's nothing else. You have YouTube, and what else? Where else can I watch a video if I wanted to? Nowhere else. You go on Twitter and people link to videos that are on YouTube. You go on Instagram, people link to videos that are on YouTube. It's only YouTube. There's nothing else. So my solution for what I think is that there needs to be competition. And I know some people say, oh, we have Rockfin, we have this, we have that, you got Twitch. Well, even Twitch, I heard, is doing some doing some censoring over there as well. I haven't really been on Twitch like that. I know it's more so for, I've seen a lot of like gaming and stuff like that. But it's like a lot of live streaming that I believe is over there. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think they have some pre-recorded, but I think it's mostly live stream over there. That's good, but it's not, it's not like YouTube set up over there at Twitch, like how YouTube is. It's very user friendly. If you need anything, it's right there. It's very, very user friendly. You could edit by, filter by date. Like days, if it was from yesterday, 3 days ago, stuff like that. You could do it by day. You could do it by, XYZ, whatever. I looked at a few and I was like, oh, wow. I didn't even know you could do all of that. But there's nothing comparable to it. When you really look, it's like, what else is there? Is it just what else? There's really nothing else. But in order to combat this, there needs to be more competition. Imagine if, all you had for fast food options around the world, all you had was McDonald's or Taco Bell, or it's, off variations and stuff like that. Taco Bell and McDonald's. You'll be like, I don't want that. I'm not in the mood for that. I don't want that. I want to be able to get my stuff from over here. Well, there's none of that. It's just Taco Bell and McDonald's. You pick either one, Or you would be like, well, no, that's some BS. I want something else. So why can't we have something else? Because this is how we get our information. People have cable, but let's be real. A lot of people ain't watching cable like that. So this is how we're getting our information. This is how we're able to spread the word around. How can we do that if the one platform that we're using for it is censoring people? So you're not even getting the full version, getting the watered down version of it. But the thing about it is, it needs to, when I say comparable, it needs to have that following. I'm not saying that it needs to have, 80 billion people or something like that, watching it or something. I'm saying, like, even if we get, 20 million people over there, or has to be a significant amount of people. Okay. We can't just have like 100,000 people over there, or even, I don't even think we have anything that really has a million besides like Twitch, but we can't just have like 100,000 because that means most people are still on YouTube, so we need to have something that's user friendly, that's compatible and everything like that, so that we'll be able to be like, okay, well, they're doing the censoring, let's just hop over here then. I'm gonna just hop over here and I'm gonna do what I was doing over here, and this one not be owned by corporations, rather it be owned by you, it be owned by, people who are fed up with the censoring, this and that and then the third, and then they create their own thing. And boom, That's how it should be. Tech people, whoever knows how to make websites and do the streaming and the RAM and all that stuff, hey, here's a job. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I know a lot of people don't. Other people I know, they don't know how to do that stuff. But if I did, I would definitely be doing that. But yeah, I mean, it just needs to be another platform that we can have, something different, something that's for us. And we could be able to express our opinions, just anything that we have, without it being censored. Now, obviously, we don't want any, child harm, any terrorism, anything that is bad like that. You know what I mean? Like serious problems, like trafficking, or we don't need any of that stuff. That stuff, obviously, there's rules set in place. But just saying, Trump, and it's like, oh, flag. It's like, you know what I mean? Because that's ridiculous. Or you have so many people, and I get it, but you have these robots that are, cutting down people's stream because the video was used because the robot thought that, or the algorithm, whatever, thought that it was, like this, they thought that you were like just showing the video on your channel. Like, for example, if I picked a very popular podcaster or video creator, whatever the case may be, they're thinking I'm showing the entire video and I'm just watching it and calling it mine, as opposed to I'm reacting to it, so, which is actually, there's a difference between the two. Me just being like, yeah, this is mine, even though I'm not in it, but yeah, I mean, it's really gotten out of hand with all the censorship that's been happening, the demonetization that's been happening, and we need something bigger. And not only that, but let's say we can't even get another platform. Let's say people are just not motivated, or they don't care enough to do it, whatever. How can we fix the situation that we currently have with YouTube demonetization, and censorship? One thing you can do is, a possible like strike, really. Not strike like, have them take down people's videos. What I mean is, if you get between, 50 to 60 people, not people, but 50 to 60% of like the whole YouTube population, that includes creators and the viewers, I think anyways, if you were to do something like that, where you'll just be like, okay, well, we're gonna, have a nice strike, whatever, and we're gonna not upload any videos for a month for the creators, and the viewers, we're not going to watch any videos for a month. I can almost guarantee you, in my opinion, I feel that, I could see there being a huge turnaround, because then they'll be like, okay, because what's going to happen is, if 50 to 60 people stop watching, stop logging in, get off of YouTube completely, their advertisers are going to get hit, because they're going to be like, okay, it's been a month and 50 to 60% of, let's say, possible revenue or whatever has gone down. So what the heck is going on? And then if, everyone's like, well, unless you change this, and this, we're going to stay off. Let's say you get onto another platform. Let's say everyone just goes over to Twitch or something, and you get onto another platform. Then that, in my opinion, YouTube would be like, okay, well, maybe we're a bit too strict. Maybe we're a bit too, hard on them, because now no one's over here watching our stuff. Now we only have about 50 to 40% people watching it. We have a problem. Our advertisers going to drop off. We're going to lose a lot of money. You know what? Let's just, let's tweak these guidelines a little bit more. How about we take off I'm putting ads on your videos even though you're not even monetized. How about we take off these crazy strikes that we have? How about we do this? How about we do this? And then make it so that it was how YouTube used to be, where it was more about you versus them. I think that would be the better option. In my opinion, I think that would be something that is doable. Granted, like I said, a lot of people get their information from here, but I mean, there are also articles that you can go to. Not everything's in a video form. There's also articles you can go to. You can type in whatever topic it is that you need to look at and whatnot. And I think that would be the better option for that. But yeah, I mean, definitely let me know what you guys think about that, or, you know, how you guys feel about this whole demonetization / censorship. And, you know, let me know. I mean, because I'm really interested in having something different, because I'm so tired of, you know, it's like people are just stepping around things, you know. It's like they're just, so they don't know what they can or can't say. They don't know what they can or can't do. So now it's just like, ooh, I don't know if I could say this. Oh, I don't know, because they may take my, and then I may, if you're making a couple $1,000s a month from YouTube, you know, can you pay your mortgage? Can you pay your rent? Can you eat the next month? You know, can you pay your car the next month? You know, whatever it is, would you be able to do it? Yes or no? You know, and I feel like they have way too much control on people's lives and what it is that people can do, you know, which is, in my opinion, I mean, it's very problematic. But for now, we're going to let that rest. That's what I have for YouTube and the demonetization and the censorship. The next thing we're going to go on to is this crazy cancel culture that we have. It's just been brewing. It's so many things. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to talk about it. But I was like, I guess I have to. It's just so annoying. Everything. And like I was saying, like you don't know what you can say on YouTube. You don't know what to do. And it's like, And then you look at the cancel culture and people, oh my goodness, you can't say anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You can't say anything. You say something about, you know, about gender, then it's like, ooh, you talking about gender. Then it's like, okay, can I talk about sexuality? No, you can't talk about that. You're gonna get canceled. Okay, well, can I talk about homosexuality in that particular one? Oh no, you can't talk about that. Okay, well, can I talk about religion? No, you can't talk about that. Can I talk about politics? No, you can talk. What can I talk about? It's so annoying. It's, oh my gosh, like social media, it really irritates me. Like really the only social media, if you consider YouTube social media, I do. I'm on there. I don't post really on Twitter, but I look. I post. I haven't been posting that often on Instagram, but I do look. My Instagram, I've been having issues with it, and it has really, they really been making me mad. It's Instagram platform. It's Instagram behind the scenes, I guess you can say, that has really been irritating me. So I haven't been able to be on there for like, I think about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just so annoying because it's like you can't say anything, you can't do anything, and people always want to cancel you for an opinion that you have. Oh, well, your opinion doesn't match my opinion, so you're wrong, so you're canceled. And the thing about canceling people is, like, a lot of these people, when they do this, they don't care that this is messing with people's livelihoods. You know, you're canceling, you know, when people think about canceling, they're like, okay, well, it's just a celebrity, you know, they got millions of dollars, blah, blah. But some of these people you're canceling just like, in one, you don't know how much they actually have in their pocket right now. And you don't know what their plans were, you know, so just trying to get someone fired over, you know, little things. And a lot of times it's not like it's something, you know, huge, like this person committed treason, or, you know, this person, you know, walked around and, you know, caused harm to people. Or, you know, it's just like, I don't like your shirt. Oh, you're canceled. You know, it's like, what? It's like people are getting canceled for the craziest things. It's like, it's so insane. It's literally like the craziest things that people are getting canceled for. And I'm just like, bruh, Like, what are you doing? Everyone, nothing, everything's off limits. You can't say anything. You know, I can't even talk about how I'm wearing black right now because the nigga be like, oh, well, because you doing this and you doing that, so you're canceled. You know, I mean, that's just where it has gone to. Everything is canceled. You can't talk about, you know, like, if someone's a misogynist or if someone's a pedophile, you can't tell about it. No. Versus you canceling the people who actually are. You're criticizing and canceling the people who are calling those people out. Isn't that weird? I find that to be very weird and strange that is what that is. And I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. But yeah, this whole, it just needs to stop. I just feel like the world, well, when I say the world, you know what? I feel like America. I can't speak on everyone else because I'm not there. But I can speak about America. I feel like America is just way too sensitive. Everything. You know what I mean? I get like, you know, and like with me, for example, like I get, you know, you have Black people, you know, our history, we created this, let's be real. You know, I get that, you know, the whole racism, I get that, you know, I understand it 100%. So I could understand people being sensitive about that. I'm sensitive about that. Cool. So everyone knows that's off limits because racism, you can't change. You know what I mean? Someone can't change that they're born with slanted eyes and they're Asian. You know, someone can't change that, let's say they're Indian and they're dark skinned, or Indian and light skinned, or just being Indian, period. Someone can't change that they're Hispanic. Someone can't change that they're Black. You know, you can't change this stuff. So there. And you can't hide it. It's not like you could just be like, okay, I'm gonna put a blanket on and no one knows that I'm this, you know, so I could be accepted in society. You know, but everything else, it's like, y'all, you know what I mean? I don't know. When I grew up, I was told that there's certain things you're just not supposed to say in public, which were, you know, talking about your finances, talking about religion, and talking about politics. That's what I was told were just like no-nos. Like you just don't do that. But I don't know when that has changed, but people are just more open about that. Now you could say different presidents that have led. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that because with those other ones, people were still talking about it. Like with financial stuff, it was just like, so you're not coming off as bragging, one, but two, for your own safety. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of people who, this is how much I make in a month. This is how much I make, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's informational. It's informative, you know, cool. That's nice. But at the same time, I was taught that was something you don't speak about in public. The only place you talk about that is at your crib, you know, at your house with, if you got brothers, sisters, family, you know, whoever, close family, you know, that's what I was taught, that's when you would do that, if you were to do that. Because like I said, a lot of it is safety. We've seen those videos, countless videos where you have the guy or gal, mostly dudes, where I don't even have anything, but when they'll have their money and it's just like, you know, like $20 bills or whatever, and it's stacked up this thick, and they got the like a phone book or I guess telephone, which I never understood that. Or you got them just like having it spread out, they throw it in the air or whatever, and then you later found out that person got robbed or they're dead. You know, so with that, it was for protection, so that no one else knows how much you make. You know, that's no one else's business because they're not paying your bills. You're the only one paying your bills. You're the one who needs to be responsible for yourself. That's what I was taught. You know, then you got politics, which people say, oh, well, it affects everyone. It affects everyone, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Someone being a multi-billionaire that has enough money to end homelessness, that affects everyone too. Doesn't mean that you need to brag about you buying boats and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? But them, as we see, the elite are like untouchable. Everyone's quick to, you know, kill and rob someone who's making like, I don't know, 40 grand, 30 grand a year. but no one is doing that to them. I'm not saying they should, but I'm just saying I find that very interesting. It's the poor, poor terrorizing the poor, which is, it's insane to me. It's insanity. It's completely insanity. But you have that whole thing going on. Politics, everyone, it's a very touchy subject matter because depending on who you have, they may or may not affect you in a positive way, so, but everyone is entitled to their opinions and their beliefs. Same with religion. You have a lot of people. I was just having a conversation about this like 2 days ago, I believe, 3 days ago, where you have a lot of people who were like, oh, well, you should be this religion because we do this and we do this. We're going to go door to door. We're going to talk about how we do this and how you should be a part of it because blah, 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 right? And it's like, okay, so what are we then? What is everyone else that, let's say if it's Christian, what are we, chopped liver then? Because we don't believe in what you say and now I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, yours is so much better than mine. No, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If you feel like yours is the best, cool. Do that at home. If you feel like yours is the best, cool. Do that at home. Do it at your church. Do it at your mosque. Do it wherever. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with, having pride in your stuff. But I guess I've just never been the one to want to force something down someone else's throat. You know what I mean? Because it may not happen all at the same time, You may just be like, okay, well, I'm a dibble dabble in there. I'm gonna look at it. Like my own personal experience with like religion and whatnot. There's one that I'm contemplating. I'm really thinking about it. I don't know much about it. I still have to do my research and whatnot. I did want to look at some people's YouTube videos and, see what's going on and, everything. But like with me, I watched this one guy and he's of the religion that I'm looking at. And, he's like, I feel like, my religion is, righteous, which is understandable. And, on those lines. And then he's like, even if you don't do this, like, even if you don't 100% come into this, then, try this and this, I'm not forcing you like, hey, get in there, you're kicking me into something, but hey, look at this tidbit, I'm throwing little information at you here and there, give it a try this, give it a read. As opposed to someone just like, well, if you don't do it, then, I don't know what you are, and it's like shaming someone for that, which I never understood that. But yeah, going back to this whole cancel culture, that's even what that goes to. I've seen people cancel people because of their religion. And hey, if that's what you believe in, that's what you believe in. People canceling people over their political ideologies. That's what you believe in. That's what you believe in. Like some people have this crazy notion that because let's say you have 3 people that you can vote for, right? In the presidential election, for example, you have 3 people you can vote for. And let's say you're like, okay, but we want this in the majority, even though it could be like a half and half split, but everyone will say the majority of people will say, well, vote for this person. And you're like, well, I don't really like that person or that person, so I'll just vote over here. Oh, well, that means that you're not for us and this and that and that third, you're canceled. Why? Because I'm able to vote for who I want. I thought that's what voting was. I'm not able to vote for who I think should win or, where my heart goes. I just feel like this canceling thing has gotten way, way out of hand. And it's touching on topics that really are no one else's business. And at the end of the day, it's no one else's business. If you want to vote for this person, do it. If you want to have this religion, do it. If you want to, if you want to spend your money on this, do it. That's your business. Now, in terms of money, I'm referring to not the multi-million and billionaires, okay, who they're charging people, they don't pay any taxes or anything like that, but you have to pay taxes. They pay almost nothing, and you are paying, this crazy amount of taxes. That I don't agree with, okay? Because that wouldn't be happening, And at the end of the day, I feel like this with businesses, especially multi-million, billion-dollar companies and whatnot. You would not be there without other people. So without other people's support, you would not be where you are. You would not have as much money as you do. So why not pay it forward? That's how I feel about that. But, it is what it is until something happens, with the administration, which it ain't because they kept the tax cuts from the previous one. But whatever. Nothing's going to change. It is what it is with that. But yeah, I just feel like this whole cancel culture has just gotten out of hand. Everything with it is you can't say anything. You got people apologizing for just an opinion in something. And it's like, oh, well, we're going to cancel you. It's like, cancel yourself. Just cancel yourself and stay at home. Get off all the social medias. Cancel yourself, stay at home. If it has really gotten to that point where people can't even wear socks with sandals, stay home, get off the internet. Just do that, and you'll make everyone else happy. Seriously, it has just gotten out of hand. And this leads me into my next segment of the dividing that we see, from the government, and it has trickled down to everyone else, like everything else does all the time. So what I mean by the government dividing is you have divisions of race, religion, political ideology or status, and then you have class. So everyone likes to be like, okay, we're black people, we're gonna team up over here, even though we're gonna do some things to each other, but we're black, right? Then you got the white people, we're teaming up over here, Asians, we're teaming up over here, Hispanics, we're teaming up over here. Everyone's divided by race. Now, within that, they're like, okay, well, within everyone's group, what religion are you? Oh, well, if you ain't a part of it, you're out, So now you have that. Then it's like, okay, who do you guys think should be the president next? Oh, you think, okay, now we're out, okay? So now let's go and form something. Because we got rid of everyone else that's different, even though you're part of, like, in the same race or religion, whatever. We got rid of everyone who's different and who does not believe in what we believe in. Now we're going to start doing something about it, right? No, it's the dumbest thing possible. You can't expect to get anything done. You have the government. You're like, well, we need to get some control. We need to, try to unify, unite. You can't do that if you just chipped away. Like 80% of the people, which is insane. It's so insane how people think like this, because you literally just chipped away at like 80% of the people. You have everyone in their different race categories. Then you're like, okay, so now everyone has a consensus of within the different race categories, what religion you're gonna have. Okay, now we got this group here. Okay, now we got who would you guys vote for? What's your political status? Oh, okay. Here we go. Now we're going to do something. Well, you just chipped away like 80% of the people. And now you're like, and then you wonder why everyone is divided. Because you guys are dividing people within your own groups and not even just looking at everyone as a whole. You guys are looking at everyone as like, okay, this race, this group, this race, this group, this political ideology, this. And then you wonder why there's no unity here. You can't keep dividing people, and you can't keep dividing people and expect there to be any kind of unity. That just won't happen. But along with that, and because we are in America, I have to bring it up. I have to. Because we are in America and we know that America is fueled by racism, let's not pretend like it didn't happen. Okay? I'm so sick and tired of it. I was watching this one thing where this chick was saying that racism is not a thing, and she's a independent person or whatever, but she said racism is not a thing. Black people never had to struggle, which was insane to me. I'm like, oh, okay, you're insane, you know. But I mean, you have that kind of stuff, and it's like, let's not pretend like that's not our history. I mean, that's what it is. It's our history. We understand it. Cool. All right. But now I'm not saying that we're going to move on. We're going to forget about it. We're not going to, teach it in schools or anything like that. What needs to happen is we understand it. All right. Now we need to work towards a bigger goal. So this whole, and it's us versus the real issue is not just the religion, politics, whatever. It's class. That's what we have now. The main issue, what we have is just the dividing that we have, that everyone is doing with one another. Oh, I don't like that person because they're black. Oh, I don't like that person because they're Republican. I don't like that person because of this. I don't like that person because of this. And that's how you're getting all that divide. But the real issue is class. Okay? So, granted, we have our history. Let's acknowledge the facts and let's not pretend like they're not there. Okay? Otherwise, you're just an idiot at that point. Let's acknowledge the facts. Let's understand where we are and let's try to move forward. Okay? So, that means that if you guys are some banker or whatever and someone told you, which is a fact, make sure black people don't get credit, is that a good thing to be doing? Come on, because you're still practicing the separation and the non-unification at the end of the day. So moving on to my point of when I'm saying it's more of a class issue than anything else. If you look at most of the people, you have people worth billions, multi-billion-dollar people, which you guys know who they are. You got multi-million-dollar people. You have people who are making six figures, 200 and blah blah dollars a year. You have all these people in office. They're not with the average Joe or Juliet. They're not with us. They're all the way up here. Okay? We're all the way down here. At the end of the day, what the U.S. is trying to do, and what you have seen during this whole COVID and during this whole pandemic, is they're trying to obviously make it so that you could not have a home, so that the banks could buy them up, give to the Wall Street people, blah, 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 right? They're trying to make it so that really we're like Brazil, okay? They're trying to make it so that you're either rich or you're poor. There's no middle ground where you could teeter and be like almost poor, kind of, or lower class, or kind of borderline. You either are or you aren't. It's going to be either one. You either living in a 10-bedroom house, mansion, something like that, or you're living in a crappy apartment. Which one? Pick your poison, And I mean, that's really what's happening. So this is why I'm saying it's more of a class issue as opposed to just, race, political, religion. Yes, all those things are there, but we need to unify for the bigger picture. That's the problem that people are not understanding. No one's trying to unify for the bigger image, the bigger picture that we have, sitting in front of us. We've seen, you have this crazy thing, healthcare is tied to your employer. And then you have a lot of people who just didn't have healthcare, and a lot of people who lost healthcare, and a lot of people who have lost their lives because they did not have healthcare. The reason why it's tied to employer is so that it's not so that, so I can make some more money. It's not for you. It's all for them, the donors, pharmaceutical, all of that crap. It's not for you. Everything that's being done is not for you. Otherwise, $15 minimum wage would have already passed. UBI would have already passed. Medicare for all would have already passed, but they don't care. It's you versus them. That's really what it is. It's more of us than them, So I just feel like people need to understand what is really going on and the division that is really happening. That's what people need to truly understand. There's plenty of things that we can do. It's just a matter of doing it. You know, if people were to go on a strike, you can't just have like one Walmart in Maryland go on strike and then be like, yeah, y'all go, and then you watching them. No, that's nothing's gonna get accomplished with that. You know, you may be like, okay, yeah, you know, this one's gonna have to be shut down, but there's so many of them. It would have to be like all the Walmarts, all the Targets, you know, all the delivery places, you know, everything, where the economy just completely collapses and just shuts down. Like how during COVID, nobody was well, not nobody, but a lot of people were not working. A lot of restaurants were closed, all of that. But if you do that, and you're like, we're done until we get this, and this, what are they going to do? Where are they going to get their workers from? You know, you have the leverage in that way. We have the leverage in that way. It's just a matter of doing it at the end of the day. I just feel like people have just gotten so complacent, and people just, everyone's just so focused on the little dividing that is going on, the minuscule dividing, like like what I mentioned. And people are just ignoring the bigger picture here and what we really truly need to look at. You know, we need people in the lower class, unite with the people in the middle class. We need to get something done. Now, the reason why I'm not saying upper is because, I mean, you already got your money. You already have your benefits. I mean, you're good. You know what I mean? So you don't really have to worry. You don't have to worry at all, you know, but we do, you know. So I just feel like if we were to get some kind of unification going, it would be so much better, and we'll get a lot of things done. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. What my stance is with it. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments